Oh, Tannenbaum, oh, Tannenbaum, you motherfucking Tannenbaum. Oh, Tannenbaum, oh, Tannenbaum, you motherfucking Tannenbaum. Hey, and welcome! It's the first week of the playoffs, everybody! How excited are you? As excited as me? As excited as that Christmas tree over there? Who knows? Who cares, really? There's probably only a couple of you guys watching because it is the playoffs, and as such, we've eliminated actually half the league. Which is an interesting point. We're going to save it for the end, but as it stands today, we have eliminated half the league. My condolences go out to the Haughty Boys, to the Raymond James fellas, and who else did we eliminate? Classified, and I'm forgetting one more. Oh, the big W's. My condolences to you and yours. But happy holidays to everyone. Happy holidays to you and yours. So this week we got two great matchups, and a lot of similarities here. Both teams, both leagues have the top point scoring person who has a losing record taking on the second place person who had the better record, obviously, because they were in second place for the division. So, at any rate, where I was going with this, and also similarities include that in this case, one team has beaten the other team twice in their head-to-head matchup during the regular season. So, we have two teams each going for a third straight victory. And you know what they say, the third one is the toughest one. So let's start with the Young Studs. The Young Studs, 2-0 this year against your lovable Livid Llamas. They face them today. They are the wild card, got in by proxy of points, taking on your lovable Livid Llamas, who somehow had a winning record this year, and somehow nudged out the Squirrels with the tiebreaker. I don't know how that happened. It surely wasn't a manipulation of the rules. So, this is the third time these guys will meet. Both other games really weren't that close. The Studs, never in doubt, won both games. They had a player go Thursday night, Mike Wall, scoring 9 points for him, so the route is on again for a third straight week. So let's see what happens here. The winner of this game, of course, has the honor of losing to the tight ends next week in the conference championship. Neither one of these teams, by the way, have won any money as of yet as far as getting into the playoffs. We don't pay out until you win a playoff game here for the second-tier team. So both of these guys looking to get some money. The funny thing is that one of those team owners didn't receive the money that the other team owner owes them just for getting into the league. One of those teams paid for the other one and is still waiting to be reimbursed for the entry fee. However, I'm sure that should that team win money, that they would think they're just pocketing that cash and walking away without still paying the entry fee, kind of like it went down last year. But I think that other team needs to go back to reality checking. You know where I'm going with this. At any rate, hey, happy holidays. Let's look at the other league. The other league is, whatever they're called, Campbell, Wales. I get them fucking confused. I can never remember. You've got the Rollin' Thunder, second place, taking on Shake Your Groove Thing, who got in based on points. We did, in this case, the Rollin' Thunder was victorious twice over Shake Your Groove Thing during the course of the year, including last week, when it would have been a little bit closer had Shake Your Groove Thing not made a late roster change to bench one of his better players. Which leads me to another topic to discuss this week. But we'll do that right after we finish. So you've got Rollin' Thunder. They need the win to have the honor of taking on Red Eye Blind, trying to recapture the crown over there. The Shake Your Groove Thing, slight dog, therefore I picked them to win because I was picking dogs. I'm like 9 points back and pick them. I don't think mathematically I have a shot, but I figure I should keep picking because it's my league. So at any rate, Buddy, as I did mention last week, took out Vincent Jackson, who was playing Monday night, for fear that he would score too many points and win. And of course, we all remember that if he were to win and Steel Curtain were to win as well, that the Steel Curtain would have gotten the playoffs and knocked Buddy out through the tiebreaker system. So it was in Buddy's best interest to not win that game, but yet still score quite a few points. So he did that. So this whole thing comes around to how much policing I need to do of the league in general, right? The rosters, etc. Should I have stepped in and said, no, fuck you, you're starting this guy? The same thing could be said about the Spankos lineup. When you take a look at last week's lineup for the Spankos, clearly they were not really too concerned about winning that game, and maybe already considering next year's draft location. Then you have a couple of trades that went through earlier this year that maybe I should or shouldn't have approved. At any rate, there will be some off-season meetings going on to try to figure out how much of this stuff I'm really policing and how much of it is going to be, if it looks like collusion, then I'm going to make that ruling. If it doesn't look like collusion, then I'm probably going to be out of the business of evaluating trades and what's fair and what's not fair. That's kind of what my current position is on this whole thing. We'll see. Once I get a chance to talk to some of you guys and talk with the league officers and figure things out, we'll see where I end up on it. But right now, I think we'll see a little bit of a change in the approach we take there, or status quo, because that's the way it works. It's either one or the other. So anyway, happy holidays. So I want to talk about that. Oh, the other thing I'm thinking, and I had a quick conversation with the Vice Commissioner this morning. Nothing obviously for this year, just again something changed. We were catching up on a couple of things, and I mentioned that this year we have two teams that made it into the playoffs with losing records, while two teams with winning records were eliminated from the playoffs because they didn't have as many points scored. And I was thinking to myself, you know what, maybe we want to eliminate the most points getting into the playoffs and instead go with more of a, let's just take the top three teams in the conference and the tiebreakers work themselves out. What was then, the counter argument that we kind of got to was maybe instead we'll look to expand the playoffs to 8 teams. Actually, I did that math real quick. 8 teams. We'll take 4 from each division. We'll take the top 3 records and then that wild card slot, or maybe the top 4 records, and we'll have a 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3 thing in each division, and eliminate the bye week for the league champion. It might work. We're going to play around with that a little bit, take a look at things over the off season again, but just something for you to chew on. Figured that a lot of you guys are sitting there twiddling your thumbs, thinking about draft position next year and what you're going to do. So chew on that as well. So I've given you some homework. Happy holidays. And I sang you that song. Benny, I think we got everything, right, bud? I think that's it. Have a great week. Go Llamas. Go Thunder. And we'll talk to you chaps next week. God bless you. God bless America. Sequest out.